to influence us tomorrow. Did have a couple showers earlier on. It's been a pretty cloudy day. That's going to hold temperatures down a little bit, but also helps us hold on to heat in the evening. And the more heat we can keep around, the less we'll have to deal with snow chances later on. But still think we're going to have that developing as well. For this afternoon, a lot of those showers that we did have dissipated somewhat. There's a little bit left over on the North and South Carolina border, but we're not looking at too much rainfall. Zooming out further towards the west, there's some heavier rain that's been coming through Tennessee and Kentucky, causing some storminess there. And it's that piece of the system that's going to turn into the rain that we've got to deal with for tomorrow. So for our alert day, the thing that almost everybody's going to get is quite a bit of rain coming through. A lot of us between 1 and 2 inches. Winds are going to pick up as that system comes through, so we'll have some on Sunday. It'll be higher on Monday after the front pushes all the way off towards our east. Temperatures are going to fall from the 60s that we've got this afternoon to technically 60s for highs on Sunday afternoon or Sunday, but those are going to be before the afternoon. A lot of them 10, 11 o'clock, and then we keep on losing heat, making Monday morning cold, and we're even colder for Tuesday morning. And we'll have some snow developing in the mountains. That'll start at midnight. That's when the rain really starts to pick up, last through Sunday, and go to noon on Monday. I don't think the snow is going to last all the way till noon. I don't even think bad road conditions will necessarily last all the way till noon, but putting that there for safe. If we need to cancel it early, we'll let you all know as we get through Monday. Most of us are looking at the rainfall, but the snow is largely staying towards the north and west of I-81, especially up into the highlands. That's where we are looking at the most accumulation. I'll show you the snow maps later on to show you what we're thinking in particular, but like I was saying, the rain is going to influence most of us. I do think snow is actually a bigger concern for more people than what the wind gusts are going to be. As the systems develop, doesn't look like the wind gusts are going to be quite as bad as what we were thinking earlier on, but with some colder air coming in, could get snow a little bit further towards the east. I do think a lot of places are going to wind up like last Tuesday or Wednesday, where we have some falling. It's too warm on the ground for it to really turn into anything. I mean, even the low in Roanoke is above 32, so it's going to be hard for that to really make it towards Roanoke and especially further towards the east. But as you get towards the west, it's a little bit more common. I think Wytheville, Blacksburg, up towards Covington could end up with some snow accumulation there. There is a minor risk of flooding with the rainfall coming in. Now we aren't saturated across a lot of the ground like we had been earlier in the summer in particular, but because we have had a little bit more recent rainfall and there's a lot coming, especially through tomorrow afternoon, that could cause some problems in some of those more flood-prone areas. Let's go through all this system first, then I'll show you what our risks and threats are looking like after that. So first things first, future tracker. A couple showers this evening, not too much, really takes until 1 a.m. for the system in Kentucky to make its way towards us. Starts in the NRV, spreads further towards the east, pockets of orange, even pockets of red showing up on the map early on Sunday. So some spots of heavy rain. And as we get towards 10 a.m., it does kind of mellow out a little bit, a lot more greens there. If you have to get out on Sunday, I'd say after about 7 until noon is your kind of best window there. You even have some dry spots as we get towards 3 p.m., but the system kind of redevelops, gains some energy, and that'll turn into more rainfall as we get towards 7, especially off towards the east. This is when I'm thinking the best flooding chances are, especially as you get into south side. That looks to be the spot with a lot of our accumulation. And with the colder air coming along with this front, that's going to turn into some snow into the highlands and NRV. Again, as you get closer to 81, it's harder for that to actually amount to anything, but we do have colder and colder temperatures through the night. Around midnight, that's, I think, when we have our best chance from Roanoke towards the east of getting some snowflakes, but not a lot of that lasts through the night. Because temperatures are pretty close to 32, if the ground can get a little bit on the colder side, that will lead to some ice lingering into the next morning. So you really want to be careful Monday morning as you're headed out of any poor road conditions. Could be some black ice, could be some slippery spots. So be careful early on Monday. As the day goes along, we'll have some sunshine and at least warm enough temperatures to melt anything that does fall to the south. In the western slopes, we still have some light snowfall through 10 a.m., but then we're mostly done with it as we get in towards the afternoon. And then we have a long stretch of dry weather through most of next week. Today, the main storm potential is towards the west. The Tennessee branch of those storms looks to be where it's going to be worst. Might even get some severe thunderstorm warning. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if there's a tornado warning that direction. Not going to be a problem for us. We're barely, Grayson County is mostly outside of the level 1 risk. Tomorrow, the level 1 risk includes parts of south side. Might get a rumble of thunder out of that, but not exactly looking impressive. And then most of the country is outside of any big storms for Monday. Now, let's look at the flood potential as opposed to the severe storm potential. Saturday, it's including a lot of Kentucky and Tennessee, but kind of arcs outside of our region, comes back up into North Carolina. Mountains help to hold some of the rain away for today. Tomorrow, we're pretty solidly in the level one risk, like I said, could get some minor flooding, some of those areas that are more prone to it. The worst rain is going to be further towards the north and east, so that's where the biggest threat of new flooding occurring is. And then a little bit of a threat in Maine on Monday. Other than that, most of the country still staying dry. Rainfall totals are mostly between 1 and 2 inches, and a lot of that comes down through Sunday itself. As we get towards the night, it does start to dry out and starts to turn a little bit more into snow. Now, remember that this is a little bit, because I'm looking at Sunday in particular, so starting at midnight tonight, going through midnight Sunday, this could include a little bit of snow in some of those higher north or western spots, but towards an inch and a little bit above that is a pretty good rule for everybody with this particular system coming through. I don't think a lot of spots will see more than 2 inches. Now, with the colder air on the backside of this system, Monday's going to lose a lot of heat. Lewisburg's down towards 28, Roanoke at 35, Danville at 34. From Martinsville up towards Blacksburg, and then as you arc up into the Highlands, so Monterey, Hot Springs, those are the spots where I think the freezing road conditions are going to be the most problematic because they're pretty well below 32. So it's not just like right there, the sun warms it back up, and then we don't really have too much to deal with. I think from Roanoke towards Lynchburg, Lexington, South Boston, freezing's not as much of a concern. Still be careful, still keep an eye on the road if there is any ice forming. But in the NRV, into that very western edge of South Side and then through the Highlands solidly is my best guess for where that's going to show up. Now, Tuesday's actually even colder, but we don't have any moisture to go along with it. Do have some wind that's going to make it feel even colder than that, so be sure to bundle up. But the freeze potential is limited mostly towards Monday morning. As far as snow is concerned, the Weather Prediction Center from NOAA is going with this particular chance of more than an inch of snow. Probably unsurprisingly to you, the western slopes in West Virginia are where the best chance to get more than an inch lays, and then it gets less and less as you go further towards I-81. Now, in the NRV, especially into parts of Bland and Wythe County, that's a better chance, but they still have it at 50% instead of even being in the 60s, so it's not exactly a guarantee. We had a crew out in Grayson that was looking for some of the snowfall that came through earlier this week. Didn't really amount to much. We were able to get some flurries here and there, but wasn't looking particularly impressive. We do have some winter alerts for this particular system. Most of those are concentrated towards the northeast. There's a winter storm warning for Vermont. But for us, we have a winter weather advisory in Pocahontas County. Even the winter storm watch, so ingredients for a storm as opposed to a storm actually forming, that stays kind of outside of our region. Right now, it's not looking like a major winter system for us. I'm thinking for our chance of 1 inch, again, western slopes in West Virginia, and then up through Bland, Giles, Craig County could see some of that into Wythe as well. Grayson, I think, is going to have the same problem that we did last time, but some of those higher spots in Grayson or Floyd County could get up a little bit higher accumulations. Roanoke looks like it's going to be outside of the 1 inch range, and then as you get further towards the east, staying unlikely to get that much snowfall or even a lot of snow at all accumulating from Roanoke towards Lynchburg and Danville is not going to be very common. On top of that, we have some wind gusts to go with that. Monday, we're going to see gusts up towards 20 to 30 miles per hour. That pairs with the colder air to make it feel particularly cold. And then on Tuesday, with a little bit of breeze left over, despite the dry conditions, it's going to feel really cold. Tonight, showers are going to start. We are able to hold on to quite a bit of heat. This is good news for us. The more heat that we can hold on to, the more we're able to prevent the snow from forming or at least delay it so that we don't have as much accumulation. Blacksburg's at 50 tonight. Alta Vista's 53. Way warmer than we were for the past few nights because of our clouds. Now on Sunday, we do get highs up towards the 50s and 60s. That's not much warmer than where we start the day, and a lot of these are pretty early on. We keep on losing heat as the front comes through. Blacksburg at 59, Alta Vista at 62. As we get towards Monday, that's when the cold really settles in, to put Pulaski at 37. And Rocky Mount at 44. Hot Springs even looks to stay below the freezing point for that day. Now, we do have temperatures that are going to warm up a little bit for Monday, but then they fall back down to the 20s that night. After that, we've got some consistent sunshine, which will do a nice job of warming us up, keeping a lot of our high temperatures in the 50s through the end of the week. Now, I'm going to check in with our digital help, Lauren, see if we have any questions for today. Anything for that? All right, so the question was, will Floyd have any snow? And I do think with this system that we will. We'll go back a few graphics so we can check that out. It doesn't look like it's going to be a big accumulation there, but I think especially some of those higher spots, we could get some, probably 0.2, 0.3 inches of snow. Further east of that, so even the eastern side of Floyd County and going into Franklin, it's going to be hard for that snow to really stack up. All right, anything else, Lauren? All right, so this question was, will we have any extremely strong / severe storms? I don't really think so with this one. Most of the activity that we're going to have that would be storm causing is going to end up being further down towards the southeast. Remember, this is where we're not really getting snow, but that's where we're going to have a little bit of the extra energy coming through. Some rumbles of thunder are possible towards Southside and Lynchburg, but a lot of that is going to stay just as rain, and it doesn't really have the right dynamics to turn it into a fully strong, severe storm like what we would see in the later parts of the summer. All right, any more questions? All right, this one was, do we think Lynchburg could see some of that snowfall? I might get a little bit of that further towards the east. I do think Nelson and Amherst, like that very northern edge of Amherst County, could get some of it. So Lynchburg's probably a little bit too far to the south to see any snow that sticks around. Some flurries through Monday morning are possible, but a lot of that is going to stay as rain that far towards the east. All right, anything else? All right, this one is, will we storm in Christiansburg? I think that far towards the west, it looks like it's going to be coming in as mostly rain, and then with the colder temperatures, that'll switch over to snow. A lot of severe storms, while you can technically get them with differences in temperature across the board, our environment isn't really set up for that with this one. So while I do think Christiansburg will get some snow accumulation, I don't think that we're going to have those rumbles of thunder that far west. All right, what's next? All right, for Franklin County, it does look like we're going to see maybe rumble of thunder. I do think a lot of it stays further towards the east. Halifax, Pennsylvania, Charlotte, Campbell. Those are the ones where I think it would be more common. But with a little bit of that coming from North Carolina, I wouldn't put Franklin outside of the risk. Not great to get outside for tomorrow afternoon, but I don't think it's going to be to the point where we would see any severe thunderstorm warnings. All right, next one. All right, looks like that's everything for right now. So hope you have a safe afternoon. Again, if you have to get outside, today's a lot better than it is tomorrow. We'll keep you updated through the day and through Sunday and Monday as to how this system develops. Hopefully you have a nice, calm, safe afternoon, and then we get to enjoy a lot of calm weather after that.